Hey everyone, it's Sergio here. Welcome back to another video. We have another pause box. This is June's box. This is June's box. So let's give this a look and see what we've got inside. Okay. It's lovely being surrounded by colourful flowers and beautiful blossoms at this time of year, but what if you could harness this joy of nature to enjoy it all year round? Introducing flower pressing. Now I do quite a lot of flower pressing, so that's interesting. This ancient art is both creative and relaxing, making it the perfect way to switch off from life's stresses. Choose your favourite blooms and get started with the blotting sheets provided before having a go at making your own greetings card. Okay, let's open this up and see. There we go. Okay, beginner's guide to flower pressing, blooming beautiful. Joy flowers bring and how to preserve it. We know flowers can have a positive effect on our health. By pressing them, we'll be able to bring part of the outdoors into your home and enjoy a rewarding activity. So you need the flowers, you get the blotting sheets, a heavy book, an extra book to weigh it down. I actually have a microwave press as well. I'll put the link in the description. It's a much quicker way of doing it. So you have this little, basically a press. It's 2 bits of plastic, 2 foam and 2 blotter sheets. And you put your flowers in there and you put them in the microwave for like 30 seconds at a time. And the heat and the pressure press them beautifully. A lot of, I'll add some pictures in of some of the things I do on my craft channel, and I'll put the link to the craft channel down below. But these are the kind of things that I've made with flowers that I've pressed myself. So I already do this quite a lot, so that's going to be really nice. So flower pressing has been done for centuries in China and Japan, and it's not hard to see why. It encourages you to explore and engage with nature around you. It inspires your creativity and focus as you transform flowers into art, and it can be done at your own pace, allowing you to enjoy a calm, quiet moment to yourself. How to get pressing. Make sure your flowers are completely dry and trimmed to the size of your book before you start. You also, it doesn't say in here, but you also want to be careful not to touch them with your fingers, if possible, because your fingertips have oil on and it can affect how they look when they're dried. Specifically in resin, but it can also affect the structural integrity of like the petals. Lay your flower between 2 sheets of blotting paper within the pages of the book. Close the book and place your second book on top to weigh it down for 7 to 10 days. Once your flower is pressed and dry, remove carefully with tweezers or your fingers. Now you've got the knack, why not send a greeting? Pressed flowers look stunning on greetings card, so have a go at making your own with the card we've provided. Simply lay your flower on the front, coat in PVA glue, let it dry clear and send. Interesting. Not how I would do it, but interesting. A flower for every season. Spring. Buttercups or kingcups are found near water and keep their gorgeous vibrant colour when pressed. Summer. Daisies are really easy to find around the UK. Yes, they are. They're everywhere. And can be organised into fun designs thanks to their size. Autumn. Roses need their petals fluffing out before pressing, but the beautiful result is worth the extra effort. They really do, because otherwise they just look squashed. Winter. Pansies are cheap in supermarkets and garden centres, and their bold colour will brighten up any wintry day. How to find your perfect plant. Get outside. It's illegal to pick flowers from council parks, verges or displays, but for personal use, wildflowers like daisies and buttercups are fine to pick. Spend time exploring your area and soaking up all the beautiful plants you see. I live just next to a woods, or a wooded area should I say, it's not a huge woods, and I love going through there and seeing all the flowers. It's so pretty, so pretty. Recycle, revitalise. It's always a shame to throw away your week-old bouquet, but pressing works just as well with flowers that are droopy or withering. To a point. There is a point of no return with flowers. Yes, there is a point of no return. It's a great way of recycling old blooms while creating something beautiful. Yes, as long as you reach them at a certain point. Even go green. You don't have to stick to flowers either. Green foliage like ivy is easy to find and makes for beautiful pressed designs. Or visit your local garden centre and experiment with more exotic leaves like eucalyptus and ferns. I have to say, when I work with resin, I'll show you some of my more 3D pieces, I will usually dry my flowers in a compound rather than press them, because then you can get the full 3D flower like these. But I've also pressed pretty much the same flowers and you get a really nice look. I'll show you here. I have trays of pressed flowers because I use them so often in resin, that when I haven't done it this year has just been this year. If you want to know more about what this year has been, then I will link a video. You can go and watch that video. But yeah, I have trays of flowers that I've pressed where I used to have flowers in my garden, and I was being really good at, you know, picking them when they were perfect and pressing them or drying them. Yeah, it's a great thing to do. I love doing it. And I'd never been interested in a garden before that point. Okay, so then we have got a rather large card actually. What size is this? This is like an A5, isn't it? Yeah, 5 7/8 by 8 1/4. Yeah. Personally, I would probably cut that in half and make 2 smaller cards, but that's just me because this is just one A4 sheet folded in half. And so if you cut it in half again, you've then got 2 cards. Very similar to how Americans do theirs. They have 8.5 by 11 paper, so their pieces are 4 1/4 by 5.5. Ours are slightly different because our paper is a different size. Okay, then we've got an envelope. Okay, so they must want us to cut that in half then. Or is that for the... okay, hold on. I think this might be to put the blotting paper in. Oh, come on. I know there are 2 sheets here. Oh, no, there's not. There's only 1 sheet. There's the second sheet. So we've got our 2 sheets. Actually, we've got quite a few sheets. No, so that is for the card. But then that is a smaller envelope. It's a beautiful coloured envelope, I must say. I love that colour. Cool. So they've given you quite a few bits of paper to use. Now this is quite thick. I don't know how that's going to work. Blotting paper is normally much thinner. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And then the express. Okay. So the last bit is the express. So rather than share this time, it says express. Expressing yourself can be difficult at times. We all express ourselves in different ways and it can feel uncomfortable letting other people know how we feel. Showing your emotions creatively can help you understand them. That is very true. This month, why not try writing them down or focusing on a mindful activity like colouring? It might help you feel more in control of how you're feeling. Well, seeing as we are down here, I have this sort of album. It's not an album, is it? It's a journal where I was doing some art dumping, I guess. Just some like mindfulness, creativity stuff. And I've only done a few. But I did this one. Did I date this? I didn't date this. Why did I not date this? I thought I dated them. Okay, well this one says, hang on, let me overthink this. Which I thought was quite apt. Oh, this one I dated. There you go. May 2021, Forever Autumn. Just using a variety of colours and things. So this booklet I am using to art journal. That's the phrase. And yeah, it was really quite enjoyable. So they're not wrong when they say express yourself through making things. Now, I know that this is going to work for pressing flowers. I am also particularly lazy. So I'm going to create some magic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be right back by the magic of film. Okay, so I have 3 little pansies here that I have done. And we're going to take one of these pieces of card. I'm going to fold this in half to make a card, like so, and we're going to glue these on. This one I'm just going to trim the back a little bit because it's got some sticky outy bits that we don't want. I want this to be as flush as possible. See, they go completely flat when you press them. This one wasn't as flat because this one I think was dried, but I wanted to try something with a little bit more body to see how it works. And then this one again, just going to trim off the little bit at the back because we don't want any of that dimension. So I'm just adding glue. I'm just going to do a little like swirly whirly design. I'm going to grab a green. Now, the directions say to cover it all in PVA glue. So, I don't actually own any PVA glue. And I'm not covering the whole flower in one of my more expensive glues. So we're going to use Mod Podge. So I've got some matte Mod Podge. And all we're going to do is pop a little bit on top of each flower. Grab a brush and very gently just brush it all over the flower to seal it, because that's what the glue is doing basically. It's just sealing it so that if it gets bumped into, it doesn't. Let's get that bit of hair off of. There we go. This will ensure if you're posting it, for example, that it is protected, but it will also ensure that it doesn't peel off. Okay. Now I'm not sure about this because I feel like this is going to leave like streaky bits. You're going to be able to see where the glue starts and finishes because you're not coating the whole page. Yes, you want to coat the whole page, but that would be an awful lot of glue. Now, me personally, I would probably use something like Glossy Accents. And what Glossy Accents does is it's very similar to a glue, but it will form a hard shell over the flower. So you won't get like the paintbrush marks. It will look like it's encased in like a little bubble. So what we'll do is we'll let this dry. We'll see how it looks when it's dry. Just make sure the bottom edge is done. There we go. Okay. Through the magic of a craft room, I have a heat tool. Okay, now, yeah, I think you can still really see where that glue was. So I'm going to do a comparison. Over this one, I'm going to add the glossy accents. And we shall see how different it looks when it dries. Now this I'm going to have to leave and come back to you because this does take time to dry. This does take time to dry. It's not going to take too long because we are warm today, but it does take a little bit of time to dry. But once it's dry, you get this sort of like clear bubble over it. So that's what we're going to have a go at doing. I'm just going to go around the outside edge. Create like a little barrier. And then I'll just show you partway through. You can see it looks cloudy at the moment. It dries completely clear though. But it's just going to like encase the flower. And you know, I'd never even thought, I make cards all the time, and I had never even considered putting pressed flowers on a card. Never even crossed my mind. How odd is that? Like, that's just, to me, that's very weird that I've never even considered it. But it's such a cute idea. Okay, so now this has this over it. What we'll do, we'll leave it aside to dry, and then we'll come back and we'll see once it's dry how it looks. Obviously for you, it'll be pretty instantaneous. For me, I shall see you in a little bit. Okay, so we are here the next day. This is now completely dried, and as you can see, where the Mod Podge was, you've still got a lot of texture and it's quite matte, whereas this is where we did the glossy accents, and it's really nice and shiny. It's got like almost like a covering over it. It's almost like it looks like it's a puffy sticker is what I'm trying to describe. Like, it's got like this depth to it. It looks like a puffy sticker, and it's so lovely and shiny. I like how this looks, don't get me wrong, I really like how this looks actually, but I think I prefer this finish. But obviously if you just have glue, then glue works, but if you are a creative type person and you do have something else, then this works beautifully as well. You could probably create a very similar effect with hot glue. If you were really careful, you could like cover it in a really thin layer of hot glue, which would also be nice, but that's a little bit more faffy and complex than necessary. But yeah, I think that works really well. I'm quite pleased with this as an idea. I never thought to put pressed flowers on a card. I don't know why. It's such a cool effect. Such a cool effect. I love the texture on it. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope you've enjoyed this month's pause box. Let me know down below if you have, and what flowers you would press and put on a card, because I'd love to know what flowers you would like to use. And I'll see you on the next one. Loopy love. Bye.